the environment I surrounded myself with, being in a kind of chronic stress state, I think has become a breeding ground for inflammation. To me, it's kind of a wake-up call that I need to heal. I've always been fascinated about how deep pain points in life can become huge catalysts for profound transformation. This is a space where I will get into the raw experiences of a life of pain to a life of beauty and the healing and spiritual practices that can help get us there. I'm Jayana, and this is Alchemizing Pain. Hey! It has been a minute, and there are some reasons for that, of course. And you might notice that I have video. Well, if you're listening on audio platforms like Spotify or Apple Podcast, you probably won't know that. But we have video now. So if you like video podcasts, check out YouTube. This is a new step of vulnerability and a new step in this whole process. I have been resisting doing video just because I was nervous to share my face, not because I couldn't. I have a camera, I have lights, I have the things, I'm an editor. There's really no reason other than I was scared. So here I am stepping into another space of uncomfortability and rolling with it. Baby steps. A lot has gone on in my life since I recorded last. Part of the reason why I have not recorded, I have just not been in the space to do so. One fun thing, I adopted a dog. He's laying right behind me. His name is Mac.
Yeah, this is Becky.
So I have been having kind of strange periods, just kind of inconsistency, a lot of pain in my pelvis throughout my whole cycle, not just when I'm bleeding. And a lot of these symptoms were really bad after my breakup. And I just chalked that up to oh, I'm really stressed out. This is a huge life change. I'm moving into a new place. I'm being on my own. My relationship's ending, it's stressful. And I thought, oh, it's probably, all those things is just affecting my cycle. It's stress. But it just kept going on. And the pelvic pain was kind of persistent, and also a lot of pain when I was ovulating, which was kind of new. I mean, I've had ovulation cramps, but the pain is getting more and more. And so I went to a gyno and got a ultrasound done. She said that I have indicators of adenomyosis. Adenomyosis is the cousin of endometriosis. Endometriosis, the uterine lining can grow outside of the uterus in different ways in different places. Adenomyosis is when the endometrial tissue is growing in the lining of your uterus and the muscular wall of the uterus. It can cause symptoms of enlarged uterus, heavy bleeding, really bad periods, pain. And I was told there is no cure. My only options that I was given are birth control, which is not a cure. It just helps with the symptoms, and a hysterectomy. And what's very confusing about it is that I guess endometriosis and adenomyosis, it's not truly diagnosable unless you have surgery, but they can show with these ultrasounds, they've found with studies that there are certain indicators of it that are present in your ultrasound. And I had those indicators, and I still don't quite understand what that means. But it's not something that's truly diagnosed unless I would have surgery. So it's kind of confusing. One of the symptoms they say is in an enlarged uterus. I definitely have bloating issues, but I also struggle with IBS. So I don't know what's what. It's a hot mess down there. What's also weird about the diagnosis is one of the predominant symptoms is heavy bleeding. I don't have heavy bleeding. My biggest thing is pelvic pain. I just kind of have this like scraping, uncomfortable pain, and it's like a dull, achy pain. It's not super severe, although it can get kind of very uncomfortable at night. Obviously, something's going on with my body, like to be having this amount of pain during my cycle, all throughout my cycle, to be having these period fluctuations. So I've been doing a deep dive on adenomyosis, and it's hard because there's not really a lot of information about adenomyosis. There's a lot of information about endometriosis, sort of. There's more information about endometriosis than there is adenomyosis, but because they're so similar, I've been going in my research looking at endometriosis a lot. And also, my doctor said, it's possible to have endometriosis too, but I guess they can't really tell those things on the ultrasound as well as adenomyosis. So I've been doing a deep dive on adenomyosis and what that means. And to me, it's just an indicator that, I really need to heal. And this is considered a chronic inflammatory disease. It is caused by inflammation, and inflammation can be caused by increased stress, chronic nervous system dysregulation. And, I truly believe that my mental health and the environment I surrounded myself with in my relationships and my life, being in a kind of chronic stress state, I think has become a breeding ground for inflammation. And, I truly believe all those things are connected. And to me, it's kind of a wake-up call that, like, I need to heal. I need to heal my nervous system. I need to take better care of my body. I need to reduce the inflammation in my body so it's not attacking itself anymore. It's been a hard one to sit with. And I'll share in my research, I've also been like looking up different spiritual teachers and what they say about the spiritual connection of endometriosis. Again, hard to find stuff about adenomyosis. So because they're so similar, anything that was related to endometriosis, I applied to this. And some of the things that I discovered about endometriosis and adenomyosis is that it can be a spiritual pattern, rejection of your feminine personal power, suppressed creativity and passion for life, and that like your past has left you stuck in this kind of fighting instinct. And you fight to feel safe in every aspect of your life, and control those aspects to feel safe. And that rings true. Like safety is such a huge one for me. I chronically just do not feel comfortable in my body, and I struggle feeling safe and comfortable in any environment. And that was often a problem in my relationships, and it was the dynamic and things that were happening in the relationship, but a lot of it was me. I just didn't feel safe in my body, so any amount of extra stress would just overwhelm me in my system. And so it made me not a great partner in the aspect of conflict and having hard conversations, because any tipping point over that threshold I had that was already pretty low because I felt unsafe in my body, I couldn't handle hard conversations. I often ran away from them. And it was really hard to have those conversations. I could do it, but it would take me a few days to come to it, and I would feel really heated in my body, and I'd have a hard time speaking. Some of the other energetic emotional components of this: insecurity and deep disappointment in yourself, lacking the ability to manifest self-love, frustration and blame about how you've been dealt with that is kept silent and is turned inward, feeling fiercely independent, like there's an underlying feeling that love is not deserved, may feel attacked by influential females in your life. Yeah. And your experience in love may have been intensely traumatic and destructive. Yup. Some other components that I thought were interesting, under like excess energy in the body, and this gets stored in these areas, taking on other people's emotions, worrying about what they're feeling them yourself and being overwhelmed by them, supporting others and maybe they support you, holding on to emotions and not talking about them, not cleansing your energy with meditation or nature or spiritual practices, overeating, drinking, substance abuse, building up energetic toxins in your body. Oh, and this is a big one too, is like I struggle with sometimes IBS stuff, all related, all lower chakra, root sacral chakra issues. My digestion is something I've really struggled with. And one of the things that they talked about is that, does your body regularly clear itself through digestion, or do you struggle with constipation, diarrhea, or both? And those problems for me developed in a previous relationship too, where my ex was struggling with addiction and I was in this kind of environment, and there was these codependency dynamics, and actually started after a hot yoga class, weirdly enough. And I always think back to that because it was hot. Yoga isn't a somatic body practice. My digestion issues all started right after that class. And so I always find that really interesting that I was doing some sort of somatic body practice, and that's how my body responded, because I was ignoring it for so long. And here I am trying to pay attention to it, but it's like, yo, we don't feel safe, So we're going to hold on to our food. And another big thing, this is huge for me. Yvette Rose, she has a YouTube channel. I watched one of her YouTube videos about this, and one of her big things was suppressed creativity, that you don't have your own sense of creativity, and you find that you're using your creative expression for others, which is ding, ding, ding. I talked about this in another episode, that I'm an editor and I often, use my creative energy for other people's projects. But there was a certain sense of safety in that, because I could hide behind their projects and not take ownership of it. So I'm seeing a lot of common themes here. A lot of them lower chakra based, root chakra and sacral chakra, not feeling confident in my personal power, not feeling grounded in my body, not feeling safe in my body, not feeling safe in my environment. I've been holding on to these emotions for so long, and now they are creating disease in my body, and it is such a wake-up call. I don't want it to get worse. I don't feel great about the options I was given for birth control or a hysterectomy. I don't plan on having children. I never really wanted children. So, a hysterectomy wouldn't be like devastating in that regard, but I do think it's devastating to remove a part of your body. And the casual nature of that being recommended to me was very weird and suspicious. And it's maddening that these are the only options. And there's so little knowledge and information about women's bodies. Like, we have to have surgery to understand these illnesses. It's just mind-blowing to me. But that aside, I do feel like my body's talking to me, and it's begging me to take care of it. That is in the way I eat. That is who I surround myself with. that is my stress levels and not taking on too much. That is self-care practices. In a way, this diagnosis is a blessing because it's a wake-up call for me, and I need to take care of myself, and I really need to heal. And I've always been trying to heal and take care of myself at some level, but I have not been consistent. I have not always been treating my body and myself with the love and care I need and deserve. I really need to bring more intentionality and awareness of what I'm ingesting. And that's not just food, but energy, people, environments. And I have to put my foot down when I'm uncomfortable. I have to take care of myself. I have to take care of little Jay. My ex and I, we would not eat very well. And so not only did we have the environment of our relationship not always being healthy and this kind of toxic dynamic with each other, we would also kind of enable these habits with each other of not really taking care of ourselves and eating out a lot and not exercising. And so I have started a anti-inflammatory diet. I'm doing celery juice every morning. I've heard a lot of great things about celery juice and that it can help reduce inflammation in your body and boost hydration. Lots of antioxidants and minerals and vitamins. But I've just seen so many stories of people who drink celery juice and heal their acne, heal this, heal different inflammatory diseases in their body. And so it's hard not to ignore that calling to try it. I will not lie, the source where all of celery juice became popularized, the medical medium, I'm like a little skeptical. I'm all for the woo-woo. I am so there and love it all and take it in. But, I do have a healthy dose of skepticism. And anyone claiming that they receive medical information from spirits and are making millions off of the books, one needs to pause and consider that. So I was a little resistant to celery juice and following, but there's something to it because there's so many stories out there of people who try this and how it helps them with whatever ailment they've got going on. So, it's not going to hurt me. It's definitely not going to hurt. If anything, it will hydrate me more and provide me with more minerals and vitamins than I wasn't getting before. So I definitely think it's worth trying. And at this point, I am open to trying anything non-traditional Western medicine. I'm a little distrusting of Western medicine. I think it has its time and place. I think the fact that our medical system kind of throws medications and solutions at symptoms and doesn't look at you as a whole person. What have you experienced in your life? What trauma have you had? How are you eating? And those things aren't really talked about in regards to medical advice. There's something really wrong with that. So I have a kind of distrust of Western medicine, and there's definitely time and place for it. And, maybe I will need to go down that route of a hysterectomy or whatever. But right now I'm going to try to heal myself. My body has been a breeding ground of stress and nervous system dysregulation, and I have been living in that for so long. And my body is talking to me and telling me no more. It can't take any more of this stress. And so I really have to do the work. Yeah, I will say it's been 10 days, I think. And I do feel like my body just feels better. And maybe it's a little hard to describe, but it just feels like more comfortable. Like my digestion feels more comfortable. I'm not sure how And if it's helping with the pelvic pain, I will say that the pelvic pain isn't as bad right now. We'll see as my cycle progresses and as I continue on these practices how it affects my pelvic pain. But so far, I'm just like the whole body feeling, yeah, I feel like more refreshed. I do feel like I have more energy. And part of that might not be the celery juice. It might be the anti-inflammatory diet and as well. The taste is maybe a little gnarly. So I drink it first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. I don't have a juicer. I chop up the celery. I do get organic because no one wants all those pesticides and toxins. That defeats the purpose. So it is a little pricey. But I think surgery would be a lot more expensive. So that's how I'm looking at it. I put it in my Ninja blender and just like a little bit of water to get it going. That creates like this kind of yummy mush. And then I take a cheesecloth and I take that mush and I squeeze it out into juice. And about one thing of celery, bundle of celery, comes out to about 16 ounces of celery juice. Yeah, I drink that every morning before coffee, before I eat, first thing in my stomach. And I definitely feel like it has like this like cooling and calming effect just on my digestion. It just feels good. I'm not sure if it tastes good. It's a little weird. It's like really salty. You know, but it's not terrible. It's not like drinking spinach or something. It's doable. I also feel like the celery juice has decreased my appetite in a good way. I don't feel as hungry and I don't feel as bloated. So yeah, we'll see. I'll keep you posted on how that goes. Day 10. I'm only 10 days in. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the comments below. Let me know what you think. If you're listening, thank you so much for listening. Like, subscribe, review, do all the things. Come follow me at Alchemizing Pain on Instagram and TikTok. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next one. Hi. I'm so happy to be back. Ugh, why is this so hard?
This is Mackie. Can you see? Can you see?
If you would like to watch your video, would like to watch your podcast. La, 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 la. This is hard. Come as a bitch, I should've known better. Oh my god, this song is so stuck in my head. We're here. We're doing it. Do I really want to record this whole thing again? What am I doing? All right, fuck this. I'm done. I'm done.